Shakur doesn't need to give in to idiotic fans, and he doesn't need to give in to even promoters and things like that, like Turkey. It's dumb when they only make certain guys try to limit themselves and dumb down themselves just for, you know, I don't know. It's not even for entertainment. People don't even care today. It's more having to do, again, with this dumb beta male proxy race war. I'll give you an example. Lomachenko versus, what's his name? Ringado. Lomachenko, I think, only landed around 50 punches in that fight, guys. I didn't hear you guys saying that fight was boring. No. So we know that it's very selective when you guys like to use running, you know, when it's convenient. And Shakur does not have to bow down and listen to nobody anymore. Shakur should do what he wants, and he's played this dumb game. And again, he doesn't have to put himself at risk because he is a boxer, and boxers do get killed inside the sport. You know, he doesn't have to give in to those type of demands. That's like telling a cop, go out there and let the criminal shoot you. You understand? Because it's not fair. You have a badge and you have a gun, and Shakur doesn't have to play these dumb games anymore. It's game over on that. Shakur, just be yourself. Don't listen to any of these clowns. There are plenty of people who do like the science aspect of the sport of boxing. And, you know, defense is a lost art, just like infighting and things like that, you know. And we're getting this dumbed down version of boxing, again, where people are only upset and mad because, you know what I'm saying, because the guy needs to sit there and throw punches, and we need Rocky Balboa every fight, which is retarded. Again, some guys, they don't play the game with chin. They actually use their skills. They use their intellect. They use their, you know, boxing acumen to give themselves an advantage. And it's dumb that we're trying to force a fighter to lower himself for dumb reasons or whatever. But now we can get more into the actual matchup of this. Now, going to the Shakur-Stevenson fight, which is what this video is really about, I don't understand the controversy whatsoever, although I do. You know, what's annoying about covering the sport is people, they just can't watch fights anymore. Everything's got to be drama, and everything's got to be controversy. You know what I'm saying? And people just can't chill and enjoy skills. They just can't chill, even though a fighter has a different color, because boxing also, especially on YouTube, is a beta male internet proxy race war. It's so stupid. You know, you guys will sit here, you'll try to reach and grasp at a straw and try to stretch that out into controversy. And in this fight, I don't see the reason why. The only rounds you could have given to Zepeda, and again, round 8 especially being one you would have had to stretch. You know what I'm saying? Shakur, he got comfortable, especially 5th, 6th, 7th round, and then here comes round 8, okay? You know, he's winning the first 2 minutes of the round, and then probably the last 30 seconds, Zepeda did have a little onslaught on Shakur, you know, but Shakur was comfortable, especially the prior rounds. The name of the game is clean punching, effective aggression. That does not mean effort. You don't score effort. You do score defense. You don't score effort. You understand? If we're just scoring effort, two people don't even need to engage each other, especially when you're not landing clean punches. Both fighters can just stand in their corner. If you guys are just scoring an effort, do you understand? They can sit there in the blue corner, the red corner, and just start throwing punches, since we don't care about landing clean punching. You understand? And whoever threw the most punches that round, then we give that round to the fighter, correct? So just because a guy's sitting here throwing himself out like he did in rounds 3 and 4, where he threw over 100 punches, I believe, you know, again, if you're not landing clean, effective punching, then why am I giving you the effective aggression? You don't score offensive aggression, especially when you're not landing clean punches. You understand? If your opponent is able to make you miss, and if your opponent is countering you and things like that, if you're throwing 20 punch flurries and you're barely landing 2, you understand? But then Shakur, this happened throughout the fight. Let's move him to the middle of the round, and then let's start landing clean punches. And then it got to the point where even when he was on the ropes, you understand, especially after Zepeda got tired, you know, where he was just clean countering this dude coming in and just trying to flurry. It was reminded me a lot like Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya. You know, The only people that were giving Oscar those type of rounds were people that you were scoring effort and output. You understand? Now, I get it if a fighter doesn't throw punches at all, and he gets put against the ropes and he's not actually landing clean punches. And yeah, I can see why you would give the busier worker the round in that scenario, But defense, again, people, they just don't like to score it. Only when it's convenient, because again, like this, you same guys that think Zepeda should earn the draw. Okay, so let's go to Bivol versus Canelo. You guys claim that Canelo was making Bivol miss the majority of his punches and blocking, whatever else. So where's your scoring criteria? Where's the consistency with you people? So by your account, Bivol still should have won those rounds even if he wasn't landing, correct? But no, you guys aren't going to be consistent on that. But before I digressed on this, you guys aren't dumb. You know what actual scoring criteria is, by the way. I don't need to explain this to you, especially if you call yourself so-called boxing fans. But the only rounds you could have given Zepeda are rounds 3, 4, and 8. And again, 8, you're really stretching and being generous. If you did give him rounds 3 and 4, listen, he did hurt, or I don't even know if Shakur was hurt, to be honest with you. He did get off balance. He did recover fine. And he was landing some pretty nice, clean shots himself in that round. You understand? But I gave Zepeda round 3. You understand? But there was no controversy in this fight. 3, 4, 8, only rounds you could have gave Zepeda in this fight. I don't know what fight you guys are watching. And I don't know what boxing criteria you're using when you're scoring these fights. And even with that said, I don't know how did you even dare try to stretch a draw out of that for you people that find this fight to be so controversial. Because again, you're not using actual boxing scoring criteria, which are Queensberry rules. You're scoring your own stupid criteria that you made up, your own beta male, probably racist proxy race war internet nonsense that you guys created on your own. A guy moved forward and threw punches, but he wasn't landing clean punches. We're not scoring defense again. I don't know. We got to give what's his name credit just because Shakur was on the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's sitting here landing nice counters and everything else, I just don't get you guys. I really don't. I don't understand. There was no corrupt judging in this fight whatsoever. There just wasn't. It was a pretty easy fight to score, especially if you're using actual scoring criteria. Again, you don't score effort. Effort is not a scoring criteria, guys. It's really not. You understand? There's no such thing as offensive aggression. And then I'm supposed to also reward you ring generalship when you're not landing clean, effective punching. All the 4 criteria points in boxing, they're symbiotic. One's going to affect the other. If you're not landing clean punches, then, how can I give you ring generalship and then being the effective aggressor? And quite frankly, Shakur clearly got the case in this fight for ring generalship. He got the case for this fight for defense, obviously. He got the case in this fight for clean punching. His punches, I don't have to reach and decipher to see if they landed or not. And I know some of these punches, you can hear thuds and things like that. Sometimes, dudes punching would deflect off Shakur's forearm, hit his chest or something like that. He hit some hips and you'll hear like a thud or something. I get it, man. I do. And then you have commentary telling you this is a close fight and we'll see how the judges see. How's this a close fight? What are all these people watching right now? No, that was a clear, pretty much dominant win by Shakur Stevenson. At worst, again, you could have scored this fight 117, 111 at worst against Shakur. I don't see where you guys gave these rounds to Zepeda where, there was a draw or he was robbed or whatever else. I don't understand the fake outrage. Round 1, Shakur easily won that fight. Round 2, one thing I noticed that even Zepeda's trainer thought that Zepeda lost that round. Do you understand? He was mad and he was telling him, you're giving this dude rounds, whatever else. Also, round 2, right at the beginning or at the end, dude already had a mouse underneath his eye. You know what I'm saying? Again, you guys are going to say he's more fair-skinned. That's why damage was already showing. Shakur was lighter. You'd see all the bruising. I've heard it all on this channel, guys. I really don't understand what fight and what controversy you guys witnessed. I don't understand this emotional viewing on how you guys see these fights. You know, I know it's just based off some dumb nonsense at the end of the day. You guys just simply can't watch a fight and enjoy it and enjoy the skills and enjoy both fighters, you know, nonetheless, you know, let alone just, you know, you watch it through hate and you watch it through emotion. You know, and I noticed this stuff, it gets too much. There's too much boy cries wolf in the sport of boxing. You guys make controversy where there is no controversy. But again, first 5 rounds, again, this is more proof to Shakur Stevenson winning the ring generalship category. Your dude got tired after about round 4, and he started to slow down significantly. I will post my scorecards on my post section of my channel. If you guys do have controversy, if you think this is just a black channel and all the other crap that I hear in my comment section, I'm only biased towards Americans, but it's not, you know, it's wrong for people to actually support their countrymen over a foreigner for some weird reason. I want to talk and touch bases on this, but I'll cover this in another video, the globalization subversion that was done to boxing, because we'll get into it in another video because this has to get addressed. So you guys, you're used to low-level functioning when it comes to sport of boxing. You're not ready for real conversations when we have these boxing talks. So someone needs to address the globalization that occurred in boxing, how they tried to break up the dominant market of America, which was the mecca of boxing for the most part, and how they tried to spread it out and make it more equal and fair to the rest of the markets around the world, you know. And I think that'll be a very interesting topic to cover. But you guys, you've been groomed and you've gone too far with this nonsense. You know, boxing is annoying, and I get tired of it. I can only do it in bits and pieces, you know, but everybody's guilty of this, you know. But again, I get tired of the drama in the TMZ and just the beta male. We're all in a prison and we all have to, you know, be at each other's throat over this nonsense. People just can't accept, you know, how boxing is supposed to be a science and an art. And we got to always, again, try to create things and controversies that aren't even there. And we will get into the reasoning behind that in another video. Easy fight to score. Like I said, the 3 rounds that, again, I believe you could only give Zepeda were rounds 3, 4, and round 8. And again, you had to have been very generous. You know, round 8 was one of those rounds where Zepeda didn't look as bad as the prior rounds. So, you know, oftentimes this messes with people's judgment of a round. But, oh, he didn't do it as bad as the other rounds, you know, that you're used to seeing. He did have a little onslaught where he finally started landing some clean punches and things like that. But again, you know, it just wasn't as bad as the other rounds. So I could see how you could have snuck that round in for him. But 117, 111 at worst against Shakur Stevenson. If you're over here giving Zepeda 4 rounds, 5 rounds, again, I'm highly interested to know these rounds that you gave him. Or even 6 rounds. I would love to see. Post those rounds in the comment section and we will cover them. You know, instead of us arguing and being dumb about it like women, we'll go over the round. And if I can get away with it, I'll post it, you know, on my channel. You know, I've tried this before. They'll block them, but I can still do the videos and link it to Rumble or some other platform like that. Odyssey is another platform that I use, FYI. So I don't have a problem doing that, guys. Again, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.